My partner cheated on me a year ago and it still affects me. My partner cheated on me a year ago on a Duke of Edinburgh Award expedition. For those of you not UK based, that requires a hike and a stay in a tent for a night, with their ex that they had pre-planned to be in a group with before we got together. They were broken up weeks before the trip and my partner told me about how much they hated the ex and were dreading the expedition, and so I asked if they could bring their phone with them so we could talk. This was the plan, but their dad supposedly made them leave at last minute. For some background, I've been a very insecure and jealous person, as they had dumped me for this person a while prior before we started talking again. Obviously for the next 2 days I was an absolute wreck. I wanted to trust them, but based on my own past experiences I just wasn't able to calm down. Then, when they got back, they tried to act completely normal, and it worked for about an hour until they broke down and confessed, originally lying and saying that the ex put them in a vulnerable position and took advantage of them. This turned out to be a lie, and they told me the truth not long after, how they cheated on me willingly. To this day I haven't had an answer as to why. They just don't know. We decided to stay together as they proved to me they would cut the ex out completely, and they showed true remorse for what they had done. Now, it's been a year, and while we're doing a lot better, it's still really hard for me sometimes. They will mention the ex on occasion, to complain about how awful the ex was or to make fun of him, and I've asked them repeatedly to stop, and they forget, and when I remind them, they seem sorry enough, but it hurts. One time recently, we saw the ex's new partner when we went out and it made them extremely sad and stressed for the next day. I don't know why. I want to trust them 100% and sometimes I do, but I remember how easy it was for them to hurt me and lie, and I just want to cry. Comment. If you've decided to give it another shot, open talks are essential. Sit them down, have an honest convo about your feeling, the triggers, and your concerns, spill how their ex chats twisting your insides. If they care, they'll work on it. There is only one person in your life that is holding you in this place of pain and misery. And it's not your partner. We can all give you the best advice in the world on what to do and how to handle this, but it will all be for naught if you are just going to hold yourself in this place. So you either work on it with them to rebuild what you had, you walk away and find someone who won't cheat on you, or you stay in this horrible place and be miserable. These are your only choices, and it's time for you to make one and then see it through. Next story 2. I just realized I'm in love with my best friend. He's in a relationship. Do I say anything or do anything? I swear I hope that I'm just crazy and going through a phase and this passes. We've been friends for only 2 years. We didn't get close until we happened to be going through divorce at the same time. His roommate, my best gay friend, forced me to stay with them while I sorted out my affairs in what was a very ugly abusive relationship. That's all been sorted, for the most part, and I've been in therapy. We lived together for about 3 months until I got a place and stability. The point, 2 weeks ago, after 8 months of super close friendship, I realized that I was actually in love with him. And it scared the hell out of me. Our friendship has been a platonic trauma bond up until now. We both have found people to date and cheer each other on and are backbones when it's time to not repeat same mistakes. My dating life isn't as great as his because I'm more focused on discovering myself, and he's been integral in that process. But when he last came over to chill with his brother, I just saw him completely differently. I just had hearts in my eyes like a goddamn cartoon. And I'm not an emotional woman. It feels like an epiphany, that he's the one for me and I'm the one for him. But I know he doesn't see me that way. To boot. He's a serial monogamist who has found a great girl who has all the same goals/values as him. I know he'll repeat his tendencies to be the perfect person for his significant other instead of being himself. But I can't be sure if that comes from a place of jealousy, so I won't say anything. And I don't necessarily want her place. I'm freshly divorced myself and have never been a single adult. But I just know he's the one. If he even hinted he saw me the same way, I'd be ready to commit and start a life with him in a heartbeat. Should I just shut up and be the friend I've been, or express what feels like a burning in my chest? I haven't been able to think about anything else since. I don't want to be selfish or put him in a headspace that questions his relationship if he genuinely is happy. Comment. Keep it to yourself. If you're an actual friend, you'll suck it up and not rock the boat. Not only do you risk ruining your friendship, but you'd probably just come out looking like a home wrecker in the scenario. This is real life, not a Julia Roberts movie. He found someone who he thinks is great for him, but you think his relationship, though he's genuinely happiness, is bad for him because checks notes you think you are the one for him. Maybe he has feelings, maybe he doesn't. But based on your own post, it seems like you're fairly confident he doesn't see you that way. And he's not available. I'd focus on continuing your self-healing journey and dating available people. He is in a relationship. He has chosen to be with that person. It would be unfair to him for you to bombard him with your feelings while he is involved with someone else. You need to be respectful of his relationship, and maybe find someone to talk to and process these feelings with who is not him, like a therapist. It would be a different story if you both were single. In fact, I would have recommended telling him how you feel. But a true friend would respect that he is in a relationship, even if it meant putting your own feelings second, because you ultimately want them to be happy. Next, story 3. My husband doesn't believe in our marriage anymore. My husband and I have been married since March, and it's been a roller coaster these past months. The first few months we were at a very unhealthy point with our communication and trust with each other. I am being accountable with my past issues as he is to his. However, I know I have been worse with it. I had many issues and I gave up on myself many times. I fell on myself every time I made a mistake. And I broke down even more because how we handled it was him yelling and me having to endure and pay the consequences. No, he did not harm me in any way. And with that going on, last month I decided to leave because my mom and the one friend I kept talking to during our time was telling me it wasn't healthy and was demonizing him. I didn't want to believe in any of that, but I was unhappy and thought of horrible things of myself and even thought of leaving the earth because I hated myself to such extent. But I came back because I believed we could be stronger and create a better and healthy foundation for our relationship. But after a month of it, he thinks that I don't truly love him because I didn't stay with him. There was times for both of us where we were unhappy and we stayed. There was more times where he wanted to divorce, but he claims it never led to that because he chose to stay. And I asked him when I returned to try and work things out if he would use it against me, and he said he wouldn't. But he says it so often how I left him. What do I do? He doesn't believe I love him. He doesn't believe in us. We are both young, I know. We rushed it, but we love each other. But that situation made it to where he believes I may leave him again. Even though I do so much physical and verbal reassurance, what do I do? I can't live without him. I can't imagine a happy life without him in it. What advice do y'all have? Please. I'm in shambles. Edit. He doesn't even know if he can ever be happy with me anymore. I'm in shambles. Comment. You're 19 and 21 and got married after only a couple of months of dating. If you truly feel you can't live without him, take yourself to an ER and let them admit you for psych observation so you don't do anything awful to yourself. But do try to be realistic. The statistical bare minimum for a marriage to work out is that both parties are over 25 and they've dated for at least 2 years. Marriages lacking those elements have extremely high failure rates. You two just jumped the gun, married way too early. Maybe take some time apart to grow up and then reconnect to see if there's enough maturity to make it work. Well, it's good you realized that, but it doesn't sound like he will be the type to agree. Do what you need to do for yourself and learn a huge lesson from this. Your level of effort and investment is far higher than his. You rushed into this and it stinks that it's not working out, but being mature requires being honest with ourselves. I'm not sure how you see this working out if he won't even try. How can we when we're married? We do a lot of things separately throughout the days BC of his work. But like physically living in different places is financially costing. Why are you fighting for someone who doesn't want to fight for you? That's basically him giving you the all clear to end things. He's prepared to let you go.